9 months, 16 months, 19 months without getting paid.
But you see how much kidnappers are taking for victims.
The 3% for the oil producing community is too low.
But the support that is needed, and once you get the support, your airline people will blossom.
This is Nigeria. You need to give people sense of belonging.
Good morning, viewers. Welcome to Thursday edition of Inside Nigeria. Today is March 31, 2022. My name is Bode Gbadebo. As usual, we shall be looking at front pages of some national dailies, starting from Nigeria's most influential newspaper, The Leadership, and as well as have a discussion about the trending issue of the day. And without more ado, let's start with Nigeria's most influential newspaper, The Leadership. On the front page of Leadership this morning, Kaduna train attack. We have failed. Governors apologize to victims. Kaduna train attack. We have failed. Governors apologize to victims. Say attack questions their capacity to govern. Bandits contact families of kidnapped victims. Kill 9 security operatives in Niger. Reps berate service chief over incessant attacks. And of course, the last rider to the story is saying 13 women, children drowned while fleeing from terrorists. 13 women, children drowned while fleeing from terrorists. And I think that story is also coming from Niger State, where 9 security operatives were killed on Wednesday. That's the story on the front page of Leadership this morning. Kaduna train attack. We have failed. Governors apologize to victims, saying attack questioned their capacity to govern. And of course, bandits contact families of kidnapped victims. Kill 9 security operatives in Niger. Reps berate service chiefs over incessant attacks. And of course, the last rider to the story is saying 13 women and children drowned while fleeing from terrorists in Niger State. That is that on the front page of Leadership newspaper this morning. Let's look at our sister publication, the National Economy. On the front page of National Economy this morning, Nigerian Railway Corporation may lose 265 million naira monthly over suspension of train services. Nigerian Railway Corporation, NRC, may lose 265 million naira monthly over suspension of Abuja-Kaduna train services. And that is coming from our sister publication, the National Economy, trying to also give financial losses from the implication of suspending the Kaduna-Abuja train services. After months of the Monday night attack by terrorists on the train service, where over 8 persons were killed, 26 injured, and many others abducted by terrorists. And that is that on the front page of our sister publication today, Thursday, March 31, 2022, the National Economy. Now let's go to the next newspaper on our menu this morning, the Punch newspaper. On the front page of the Punch this morning, train attack, the same insecurity as we have seen on the front page of Leadership. Train attack, El-Rufai carpets military, Ariwa Consultative Forum laments, Defense Headquarters fails to deploy to Kano in Northwest. Train attack, Governor Nasir El-Rufai of Kaduna carpets military, Ariwa Consultative Forum laments, Defense Headquarters fails to deploy to Kano jets in Northwest Nigeria. Says bandit territory known to troops should be declared war zone. That is according to Governor Nasir El-Rufai, blaming the Nigerian military for inactivity. Nigerian Air Force to escort passenger train with jet, says Minister of Transportation Rotimi Amechi. And of course, the last rider to the story is saying reps fuel as service chiefs minister failed to appear before panel. House of Representatives fuel as service chiefs minister failed to appear before its panel, which is investigating what happened on Monday night when terrorists attacked an Abuja-Kaduna train service somewhere in Kaduna State. Well, that's on the front page of the Punch this morning. Let's look at the last newspaper on our menu this morning, and that is the THISDAY newspaper. What do we have on the front page of THISDAY? The same story everywhere about insecurity across Nigeria or in Northwest zone. And as they said, insecurity in one part of the country is insecurity in every part of the country. Now, what do we have on the front page of THISDAY newspaper? Again, terrorists strike in Zaria as El-Rufai insists there is enough intelligence to prevent attacks. Again, terrorists strike in Zaria as Governor Nasir El-Rufai insists there is enough intelligence to prevent attacks. Says DSS has informants everywhere monitoring plans of criminal elements. Hence, security agencies have their phone numbers and listing in on their conversations. Queries wise, security agencies don't attack them first. And of course, the last rider is saying, declares he is angry, frustrated, and feels totally helpless. Well, I think the reaction of Governor Nasir El-Rufai of Kaduna State is very, very understandable, because the attacks in Kaduna is becoming one too many. And of course, the governor, as the chief security officer of the state, is expressing his frustration. Okay, I have another rider to that story on the front page of THISDAY this morning. Amechi visits victims at Army Hospital, says Air Force may return to escorting trains. Well, if Air Force or the whole armed forces are drafted to escort the train and we fail to do the right thing, I think we may be getting the same result over and over again. So we need to do the right thing. It's not about the Air Force escorting the train from one point to the other. Well, that is that on the last newspaper on our menu this morning, this day. We'll be joined by a guest shortly to have a discussion on a trending issue of the day, and that is also about securing Nigeria, insecurity. Don't go away. I'll be back shortly.
Will a medical doctor work for 9 months, 16 months, 19 months without getting paid?
But you see how much the numbers are picking for victims.
My thing is, government should, I think all the stakeholders get that, and I think we get that. The 3% for the oil producing community is too low.
So the support that is needed, and once you get the support, your energy will blossom.
This is Nigeria. You need to give people sense of belonging.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
Inside Nigeria, keeping you informed on what matters.
Welcome back. It's still Inside Nigeria for this Thursday morning, March 31, 2022. Like I said earlier, we're looking at the spate of insecurity bedeviling the country against the backdrop of the last Monday night terrorist attack on an Abuja-Kaduna train service. And to get new perspective on this issue, I'm being joined by Major Banjo.
Yes.
Public and private security analyst. We'll be speaking to you from Lagos. Good morning, Major.
Hello, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm fine. Good morning. Thank you. It's nice seeing you for the second time in a long time.
Yeah. We thank God. We thank God for keeping us alive.
All right, thank God, Major. And also, let me ask you, how is Lagos?
Say what? I didn't get that.
I say, how is Lagos? How is Lagos?
Oh, as usual, all the hustling and bustling, the insecurity, the area boys and the rest. We thank God we don't have terrorists here yet. Anyway.
All right, Major, for want of time, let's go straight to business of the day. You're just joining us. You didn't see the front pages of the newspapers we looked at earlier, but I think within a few seconds, let me show you the list stories on some of the national dailies to you in order for you to get where we're coming from. All right, Major, why I get those papers on the screen for you to see. Let me start from Nigeria's most influential newspaper, The Leadership. You can see what we have on the front page this morning. Coming from the 36 governors of the Federation, we have failed. Governors apologize to victims. Now, let me start with you, Major Banjo Daniel. As we are now, is the apology we need or some concrete actions from political office holders? What do we actually need at this moment?
Practically all the situations we have in the country, economic, social, whichever way you see it, it's not news that the governors has failed, not just the governor, the entire government has failed. And in fact, we, the masses, have failed ourselves. So the whole country, the whole Nigerians have failed ourselves, and we have failed our children and the generations to come. The governor coming in now to say they apologize, to me, it's nothing. If they've realized that they have failed, they should sit down, analyze whatever problems, whatever issues that have made them to fail, review it, work out how they could redeem the images of whatever they have failed in, and then find solution to it. That is what we require this time around. They have been failing us, there's no doubt about it. They have failed right from, as far as I can remember, from the 60s. Excuse me. This thing is not starting now. It started right from the 60s. Our forefathers, we claim had labored to gain independence, blah, 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 they all failed us. They failed woefully up till now. So coming up to say they are apologizing, let them find a way to resolve it, find a way that the Nigerian masses can feel their presence, find a way that the Nigerian masses can feel they belong to Nigeria, find a way to ensure that Nigerians are not suffering. Most of us, we are even lucky here. There are places where Nigerians cannot feed 2 times a day. Even in Lagos, I know individuals that cannot feed 2 times a day. Those that can feed 2 times, they drink gari with kuli and epa, and then maybe later in the day they find something solid to eat, And with the kind of earnings that Nigeria makes, daily money that Nigeria makes from especially oil, now rice and more other where the Mr. President are diversified into the agricultural sector. The money that comes in for Nigeria should make every Nigerian at least earn 1,000 naira a day. We have sat and worked it out. Unfortunately, not just the governors that earn millions and billions daily, the senators is another set of human beings, if I can use that word for them, although I don't really see them as. Because if you are human, you be humane and you be considerate. The governors, the senators, in fact, the total political setup are inconsiderate.
All
They
right,
are so
Major,
inconsiderate. So apologizing alone is not enough. Let them make us realize that we are Nigerians and we feel the impact of what Nigeria earns every day. Thank you.
exactly. I think I want to agree with you that mere apology is not enough, because after the apology, what next? Nothing. And we are just waiting for the next attack to happen, and we'll come again and sermonize, which is not what is good governance. Now, Major Banjo, let me, if you say the apology is not enough, what do we do next? Because this has been a recurring cycle, vicious cycle. See the position of the leadership newspaper this morning in our editorial. We are saying declare state of emergency on insecurity now, calling on President Muhammadu Buhari to declare state of emergency on insecurity. Is that not what we need, or do we even need to say it before the writing is done?
Normally, as at this time, I've told myself I will not really want to go into, because I am an analyst and I've been analyzing the Nigerian security situation ever since, I'd say, a long time ago. I've been on the air, I've been on the on televisions, I've been on radios, I've been in the papers, I've stated my mind, analyzing the situation practically every week, you know. And as at now, I have come to the conclusion that there is actually nothing to analyze again, because it's far beyond expectation. It wasn't like this even last year. The situation wasn't this bad, you know. 2 years ago, it wasn't this bad. This year is just, I can't comprehend. I sat down and I thought about it. Why is this thing happening this way? You know, declaring a state of emergency, it's Mr. President that can do that. But Mr. President is a general, and he has capable generals working under him. He's the commander-in-chief. I stand to say, and I've said it everywhere, and I'm reiterating it, that threat is never greater than security. The security apparatus, infrastructures, architecture that we have in this country can handle anything. And I'm saying it, we can handle anything and any country. Probably, maybe not the nuclear countries, but any country, the way we are, the level we are now. I'm sure you know that Mr. President, within the tenure of his 6-7 years, have been able to purchase over 40 platforms, over 40 aircrafts. It has never been done before in this country. Fighter jets, you know, to Kano, about 6 from America, how many from Russia? They are there. Let any country try us, we bump them down. So how come bandits, marauders, people who are not collated, people who are not skillful in military warfare everywhere in our country? You see them on the roads everywhere. You cannot drive. You see them in trains. You imagine what happened a few days ago. They went and bombed a train in Kaduna, the house of the military. We have over 15 military structures in that town. These people went there. They were the same one that bombed down the chief of air staff's aircraft. That was Harry or whatever his name is. They are the ones that do everything within the Kaduna. So what exactly is the problem with us? I am saying categorically here that the military can handle, the security agencies can handle whatever is happening in this country. So I have simply concluded that we do not want to handle it. We do not want to kill these individuals. That's what I'm using. We do not want to confront these individuals. That can literally resolution.
Uh,
The military
sorry
are
for
capable.
cutting you short,
Yes.
Major. Sorry for cutting you short.
Yeah,
Why
yeah,
did you say? Yeah, why did you say the armed forces is not ready to tackle the menace of insecurity in Nigeria? Why did you say so?
because they're capable. They have all the amenities, they have the armaments, they have the skills. What do they have? Except, of course, maybe since I left the military, maybe they have relaxed in their training and they relaxed in whatever. But when we were there, and in fact, I'm sure they have not relaxed. I am sure with two sections, with two detachments of special operators, special forces that we have now, whether Army, Navy, Air Force, two detachments of special forces deployed inside Kaduna, missioned to bring out any type of criminals. I'm giving you 2-3 months, they will do it with the right information and the right equipment. They will do it in a couple of months. It is doable, very, very doable. So that's why I'm concluding we don't want to do it. Bandits will just come out from somewhere. Are they ghosts? They are in the forest, they are under the sea or in the air. We have been trained to swim under the sea without being noted. We have been trained to walk in the bushes without breaking cracking the sticks. They walk steadily and they'll be able to catch this guy. And it's easier to bomb them anyway. General Basajo gave instructions they should bomb Udi Hill. They bombed them and they kept quiet. So why are these people not being bombed from the air? We have precision aircraft that will precisely locate where they are. Ordinary drones will pick where they are, and drones can be missioned to bomb them without using aircraft. UAV unmanned aerial vehicles will bomb these guys out, smoke them out, and our bush rats will Kalashnikov them down. So what the hell are we doing? We don't want to do it. That's what I'm saying. If we want to do it, we'll do it. Quote me. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Major Tabanjo Daniel. Now, there are newspaper reports this morning saying the armed forces actually got actionable intelligence about the impending attack on the Abuja-Kaduna train on Monday night, and there was no action on their part. And besides, again, the Kaduna State Governor, Nasir El-Rufai, also lamented that the armed forces has the capacity, like you say, to tackle this, and they have not, done that. Now, given what you just said, let me ask you again: why will the armed forces not ready to abide by its oath of defending the nation's territorial integrity?
If I get your question right, you're asking me why the armed forces are not ready to. Is that it?
Correct.
Very good. I am not there. The Chief of Army Staff is not I'm not close to the Chief of Army Staff. I am aware that the Chief of Defense Staff is capable. He has been tested, very well tested. He was the commander, the commander of the multinational drug task force in charge. He was the head of the theater commander in Nigeria here. Irabo is capable. The Chief of Army Staff is far, far behind. I cannot really rate him. But Irabo is capable, and I'm sure the whole army, the whole military guys, Navy with their gunboats, the Air Force with their platforms on air, they are all capable. And of course, we have the commander-in-chief. So basically what I'm saying is, unless they receive appropriate instruction, unless they are particularly missioned by the commander-in-chief through the Chief of Defense Staff, down to the various service chiefs, unless including the IG, Department of State, even immigration and customs and the like, unless they are all missioned to do this, then it can't be done. It can't be done. I don't want to be emphatic. I don't want to be specific. Otherwise, they start calling me, give me names, and before they start looking for me. I'm not scared of them. They have detained me before the whole time. Don't bother me. But I just don't want to say too much. I'm sure you can read in between the lines and get what I'm saying.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. This thing can be done. I'm telling you, it can be done. A detachment of special forces contains 11 men. 11 men. So if we deploy 5 detachments, give them a zone, delineate an area, and say, gentlemen, you are moving here. We want you out in the next 2 weeks with these guys dead or alive. And we deploy them throughout Kaduna State, Niger State, whichever other states in such areas delineated, with someone coordinating all their efforts. Smoke these guys out and bomb them, and Nigeria can live well. As of now, it's not just in that middle belt area. If you sit down, there's an operational map, and you sit and they map out the whole area where these things are happening. You grab it right from Ilori up to Adamawa here. The middle belt area is the worst hit. Initially, we had them in the northeast. They are still there. I don't know why they are still there. ISWAP and all those ones are still there. But if we are not careful, I'm telling you, if we are not careful, that thing will move down south here, and then it's going to be nationwide. And before you know it, they are, as at now, they are stooges. They are people everywhere in the country. And by the time they erupt, we are not going to find it easy. It's unfortunate, but I hope I answered your question.
Yes, Major Banjo. Let me ask you the next one. Now, given your experience as an insider before in the armed forces, what options are available for the country as we are now? What options are available for us to actually overcome this state of insecurity once and for all?
That question is out of the military sphere. It is political. The options are available to the country. It's not an option available to the military. The military has only one option. That is to comply with the instruction of the commander-in-chief. The totality of the military and the security agencies must comply with what the commander-in-chief wants. No, now your question is what is possible options for the country. That's political. Yeah. And if I have to give it to you, straight, singularly, the problem we have now, including the insecurity, emanates from the set of humans that are called politicians now. They are the ones causing the whole problem. Everything comes out from them. They are so rich, they don't even know what to do with their money anymore other than to cause chaos. Just like United States, and most of them think whatever the United States does is right. It is the culture of the United States to cause chaos all over the world. Why? So that they can spend the money they have, and so that their families and friends who are involved in the warfare business can make money. That was why Trump was rejected, because Trump just didn't care. He wanted the American. There are Americans in America that are worse hit economically than Nigerians. Go and check. They sleep under the bridges. They are everywhere in the ghettos, but they spend billions. Right now, America has spent close to $3 billion in Ukraine. But that's the only way they can make their quick money. They give their friends contracts, humanitarian needs. They tell the Bush family to sell more arms. They tell the British PMC, private military company, they are deployed there and they pay them $2,500 a day. So the people in the Congress get gifts from all these companies, corporate people, and their friends. And then Mr. President himself gets his own whatever. That's how they make their corrupt, achieve their corrupt aims. So the same thing here with us here. Fortunately for us, here, our own system is so corrupt, so open for us, that you can even go to the central bank and collect money and put in your personal pocket. So these people don't know what to do anymore than to cause chaos. Look at, there was a man, yes, one of the politicians about 5-10 years ago, who was fingered for being a sponsor of terrorists in Borno State. He's a senator. He has been a senator for over 20 years now, and he continues to be the head of the army committee or whatever there. And he's there. Yeah, so it's these politicians. It is these politicians that are causing the problem. My singular opinion is that these people must be eroded. I can't call for a revolution, But we must sit down and think, the family, the Nigerians must sit down and think that we must take away all these people these people that are recycling themselves. They've been recycling themselves since how many years back? Some have been in that Senate for over 30, close to 24 years. You know, they recycle themselves and they are used to doing it this way, and they are continuing to doing it that corrupt way. You know, unless these people leave, then it's a pity for Nigeria. We continue this way even in the next century. We must
Mr. Banjo,
yes,
okay.
I'm
Before I
saying
ask you,
we must sit and regroup. The Nigerian masses, although we have been divided, our families have been divided too. In a family now, you see them, they fighting APC, PDP, APC, PDP, PDP, NPP, MP, all these ones. Meanwhile, all these people they are fighting for are the same thing. You see a PC person inside PDP today, tomorrow, for his own selfish interest is there. You know, so the family is divided unless the family members sit down together and realize, look, we have been cheated, we have been enslaved, we are nothing. We sit down together, form a social group that will metamorphosize later all over the nation into a group of intellectuals and people that are godly. You know, people that are godly. That's what we want now. We will exempt anybody that has participated in politics, that have held any political appointment. We will exempt them from such a social gathering, from that thing, and with time, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, we become a party heavy, and we drive this, whether them erode them out of the political system. Otherwise, they will continue to party as they have been partying. God bless you, my brother.
thank you, Major Banjo. Now, before I ask you the last question, let me quickly report something to you as a journalist. You made reference to a politician in Borno who was accused of sponsoring Boko Haram, and he also happens to be a senator of the Federal Republic and also the chairman of the Senate Committee on Army. Am I right, sir?
Like that. I don't know if he's still there now, but he was.
Yeah, he's still there, but I want to report to you that that person was actually taken through the judicial process and he was discharged and acquitted by the courts of competent jurisdiction. So you don't have that allegation.
We have discussed presidency. We have discussed about the presidency. We've discussed, mentioned senators, the legislative. Now you are going to the judiciary. Who is more corrupt? It has been proven that the judiciary is even more corrupt than the legislative. Legislature. They are corrupt. Everybody is corrupt. I am telling you, pick up 100 Nigerians, different ages, different age groups, and put them there and tell them what they want. They will tell you money. Okay, let me give you work to do here. They say, no, that work is tedious. I want quick money, cheap money. They are ready to steal. So the whole country is corrupt. In fact, corruption is in our character now. And it's our culture. Criminality is our culture. Abnormality has become the norm for us. If you stand up anywhere to say, what that person did is right, someone will slap you from the back. What are you saying? It's normal now. It's normal. If they are not part of us, they are not part with us. It's the criminality is with us. So judiciary will come up and say, you want me to give you instances, 4 instances that have been denied justice in this country. 4. Do you understand? Personal, not someone else's. By the judiciary. I was detained 32 months as a major in the Nigerian army. I was kept somewhere. And they were paying my salary. They just did not want me serving. Is that justice? We went to the court, we went everywhere. My parents did all this, they said we should just keep quiet, otherwise they will kill me there. Is that justice? At the end, they brought my letter of retirement. And I told them, what if I don't collect it? They said they send me to jail. Is that justice? And I can mention more, far more, everywhere. And we're saying judiciary brought somebody up and he was acquitted. To hell. We don't have anything here. They must all go. I'm not saying kill or eliminate them. We must erode them off and get the right people into the system.
We have run out of time. Let me quickly ask you the last question, and it will be a 2-in-1 question. You place the blame at the doorstep of the political leadership of this country. You accuse politicians of being responsible for the state of insecurity we have. Now, I want to ask you, when you were in the army, what was the relationship of the president with the armed forces in terms of modus operandi and rules of engagement, and what we have now? So what is the gap between what was obtainable when you were in the army and what we have currently? And the second leg of that question is, people like you who were members of the armed forces before and now living in retirement, in what way are you contributing to national security?
In what way am I contributing in national security?
To achieving national security.
Yeah,
That's the second leg of it.
Let me start with that.
All right.
When the chief of army staff before now, the one actually General Buratai was the chief of army staff. I was I had the opportunity to be quite close to him, and I was doing the little I could in support of his mission. You know, ever since he left, I have not been in close contact with the present ones, and I can't say exactly see myself doing anything. However, in the private sector, I at a particular time was the director of training for the ALPSPN, that is Association of Licensed Private Security Practitioners of Nigeria. I was the director of training, and I was opportune to have written a couple of letters to the Chief of Defense Staff, then General Olon Shakin, on how the private security structure could be included in the national security architecture. We wrote that letter to him. Mr. President, our president then of the ALPSPM went and submitted the letter to him. A couple of times we went to discuss it with him, but ever since, nothing has happened. So it's not how we want to contribute. It is they accepting what we want to be done, or they really analyzing it and seeing how feasible it is to be for the private sector to be included in the national security architecture. My major interest in there was information gathering. There is no campaign, no warfare, no exercise anywhere in the world that any military person or any security agency can jump into without appropriate, adequate information being processed into intelligence before they go into it. So I now see the private sector security guards and security operatives as a key role, that they have a key role in playing in the aspect of information gathering, because practically nearly every street in Nigeria has one or two or more security guards on their streets, and they interact with the locals, so they're able to gather information. So if we can use these individuals to gather information all over the nation, and there is a security center where they can pass the information to in time, on time, immediately processing it, and then the military and the security agencies are informed on what information are gathered on time, they could immediately act on it. That was what I was trying to do then. Unfortunately, who am I? A bloody major wrote something and you think the generals will look at it. That was how it ended. I just realized that at my age, I really need to relax and rest. And since most of the things I tried to do this year, I've just been sitting at home. I told you I'm a trainer too. I also trained the private security operators up from the security guards to the director.
Because of time,
on the military.
The first leg of the question.
Come again?
Because of time, go to the first leg of the question. We've run out of time.
The first question?
Yes, the first leg of the question I asked.
What was that again, please?
Okay, you place the blame at the doorstep of politician or political leadership of the country. Now I ask you, what is the difference between when you are in the army? What is the relationship between the president and the armed forces when you are in the army and what we have now? In terms of modus operandi and rules of engagement, how do the president relate with the armed forces when you are in the army and what we have now?
Yeah, you see, as at that time, it was a situation where Mr. President relied more on the Chief of Defense Staff. That was the situation then. most of his activities and instructions emanate from what the chief of defense staff and indirectly the service chiefs, how what they give to him. They see practically every day. He may have someone who is more closer to him, that he sees most times, but most of the time he sees them by every other day or every day as necessary. So it's, as at now, I really don't know how Mr. President relates with this individual. I think that he is closer to those. He chooses who he wants to be closer to. But as at then, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what you are. The totality of the service chiefs are brought on the table in decision making, and Mr. President listens to all of them, and he listens to their submissions and recommendations before they take action. I don't know how Mr. President General Buhari now does his things, so I may not be able to really compare how it is done now with how it was done then. I was fortunate to have served in Dodon Barracks as well as Aso Rock within the short period I served. And when I was in Dodon Barracks, Mr. President then was close to even us, second lieutenants and lieutenants that were there. He relates with us, he plays tennis with us and does a lot of things. When I was in Aso Rock, it was a tug of war. As much as I tried to get close to the people serving under General Abacha, I tried to meet them on the weekends and play football with them so I could gather information and we could relate together as a team. Unfortunately, it never was. It was war at that place. And unfortunately, some of us became the grass in that gameplay.
All right.
Thank you.
Banjo Daniel, a retired major of the Nigerian Army. I must thank you very well for your invaluable contribution to the discussion this morning. And I hope to see more of you whenever the need arises.
Thank you very much, my brother, and have a God bless day. Always.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you. That was Major Banjo Daniel, a retired major of the Nigerian Army and currently a trainer, public and private security analyst. He spoke to us live from Lagos. On that note, we've come to the end of Inside Nigeria for this morning. My name is Bode Gbadebo. Bye for now.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.